Hi, everybody. Angel here. Hope you're doing great. And I'm super excited to speak with Robert today. And we'll get started soon. And I want to thank you all for joining, either live or on the replay. And please let us know where you're tuning in from down below. That would be awesome. It's always great to see where people are tuning in from. And I also want to let you know, hi there, how are you?
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation, and thank you for our conversation last month on your page. So I
Yes,
want to invite everyone to please go check out Robert's page for our conversation last month. It was super fun. So I wanted to also have a chat with you over on my page.
I appreciate the reciprocity so much. And I know that ain't the right word, but I'm gonna use it anyway. You know, we make up words
We'll
however
go
we
with
want
that.
to.
We will go with that. Yes. So I want to say hi to everybody who's joining either live or on the replay. Thank you for joining. Please let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments. That would be great. And also, please put your questions and comments down below for Robert, and he'll be happy to answer as we go along. And so, Robert, again, thank you so much for taking the time. And everybody's super busy. And I think we should just jump right in there. I just pinned a summary at the bottom of the page of the questions that I'm going to ask you, but just to keep me on track. So here we go, Robert. So my first question
All
for you,
right.
Robert, is if you would please share with us how you started your plant-based journey and how you ended up to where you are today.
Perfect. Well, that is a great opening question. So my journey has been long, because it wasn't a direct journey to becoming plant-based and slash vegan, whatever term you want to use. So 1999 is when the journey started for me. For 15 years, I bounced back and forth between vegetarian and pescatarian.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'd eat some chicken, then I'd cut it out for a little while. But it's always been a journey for health and to really improve upon the life conditions that a lot of my family members dealt with. What finally made me transition completely to plant-based, there were two major life events that happened to me. The first was in 2013. I lost my mom to cancer. And that was a really big blow to me. That was one of my best friends. She was the light. And then the next year, my oldest son was born. And so after she passed, I knew that I needed to do more than what I was already doing. And then him being born was the catalyst to say, okay, no longer, you cannot put this off any longer. It is time to make the change, because in my family history, there's a history of diabetes, high blood pressure. Dad had gout. With my mom with cancer, my aunt with cancer. So I knew that I was predisposed to a lot of stuff, even though I was already living healthier. And
Mm-hmm.
he was the true catalyst, because it was like, okay, I don't want him to have to unlearn all
Yeah.
the stuff that I had to unlearn. And so
Oh
it's
my
all about
gosh.
living by example and making sure that I set him up from the jump for success and health the entire time of his life. And I didn't want to be the father that my dad was. He was a good person, a good guy, but he worked a lot and he
Yeah.
didn't have the energy to really play with us kids. And
Mm-hmm.
so I wanted to be the exact opposite of that. I wanted to have all the vitality that I needed to keep up with him. When he starts running, I want to run, play football, jump, play fight, all of that good stuff. So that was what really made the transition for me. In the beginning, it was pretty easy because at the time, my ex-wife, she did all the cooking. So I didn't have to worry about what I was going to eat, how I was going to make the transition. It was basically, this is what we finna eat, so you finna sit down and eat. And through that, there of course,
Enjoy. Bon appetit. Enjoy.
and through that, there was some trial and errors. There were some times where we had to throw out dinner and
Yeah.
order in, but for the most part, it was a pretty exciting journey. And throughout the journey, I've explored so many more new foods that I
Yes.
never even knew the name of before,
Yeah.
or I saw and just was like, whatever. ain't no need of me trying to eat that. Like before going plant-based, I had never tried soursop. I had
Oh,
I had never
wow.
eaten quinoa. I had
Oh.
never eaten shote. So there
Okay,
was so many.
I haven't had that one yet, unfortunately. Yeah.
That one is pretty good. And so my ex is Haitian, and so it was something that they ate often.
Oh, yeah.
So it was one of the things that she'd throw in soups.
Oh.
She'd saute up, and so it was just a bunch of different things. Some fruits that I had never tried outside of the soursop. I had never tried cara oranges. I had always just eaten regular navel
Right,
oranges.
right, right, right.
Um,
Right.
Trying to think of some of the other stuff. Pomegranate.
Oh, yeah.
I had
Yeah.
never eaten pomegranate before.
Wow,
And
yeah.
then
Yeah.
coming from, I was born and raised in St. Louis, and moving
Oh,
here to
yeah.
South Florida,
Okay.
there's a huge variety of fruits that you don't get
No.
really as popular in the Midwest.
No.
First time I ever drank, no, not the first time. The first time I started liking coconut water. So I drank coconut water when I went to Jamaica before
Yeah.
fresh out of a coconut,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Oh, this is just dirty water. It tasted like dirty water." And it's like, I'm not drinking this stuff. But being down here and there's coconuts in abundance, and one of my buddies he harvests coconuts and makes coconut water, coconut milk.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I was really introduced to it, and so now that's one of my favorite things to drink, especially because it's high in electrolytes. Instead of a sports drink, go grab some coconut water, even if you got to get the stuff that's bottled.
Yeah,
Um,
no, yeah, I agree with you.
so between the electrolytes and the nutrients in there, you're going to get everything that you need back after a good workout. Or even if you're dealing with some digestive issues,
Yeah.
it's going to help clear that out. It's going to send you to the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. I think of coconut water as like nature's water in some sense. I mean, besides spring water, of course. But I
Right.
really consider coconut water to be like really like, the second most optimal water that we would drink, I think, as humans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that was my journey. And so now that was 7 years ago, going on 8 years into my plant-based journey.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to extend my deepest sympathies for your mother, for your aunt, and just all of the challenges that your family has faced. And I just want to
Thank
applaud
you.
you for really being aware and making that connection, because sometimes people just say, well, I'm just doomed, and that's just the way it's
Yep.
going to be.
It's in my bloodline. Everybody has it. When that's not the truth, you're not predestined to have the things that your family have unless you continue to eat. Hereditary is what a lot of people. That's the word that they say. Those diseases are hereditary when they're not. The only thing that's hereditary is the fact that you ate like your parents ate, your
Yeah,
parents like your grandparents
yeah,
ate, and so on and so forth. And
yeah,
unfortunately, especially in the Midwest and in the South, we eat a lot of fried foods,
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of processed foods, and the things
yeah.
that lead to those diseases, things high in fat, high in sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the foods that lead to the diseases that we consider hereditary.
Mm-hmm. It's a lifestyle. It's like it's like a common lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. No, but similar to you, it just took me just so long as well. For some reason, I was just stuck in the vegetarian, pescatarian mode for over 20 years before I went vegan. I was in my own little bubble, didn't really pay attention to social media or the news, didn't really understand what on earth was going on, but I had cut out what we call meat because of inflammation that I was experiencing. And of course I had to admit finally that I'm lactose intolerant, like about 2/3 of the global population. So I cut that out along the way, and eggs were giving my stomach all kinds of somersaults. And so slowly but surely then I learned about the toxicity and the mercury in fish. I was like, all right, then I'm just gonna eat like wild salmon. That's the healthiest one, right? And I need those omega-3s. So I'm going to, eat that. And of course, once I had my awakening, my vegan journey, it was like, no. I can get all of that from plant foods. So that's where the animals are getting it
Exactly.
from. So, yeah. So
And
I just
and
want to
that's the
applaud
piece.
you.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. And that's the piece that most people think. They're like, oh, I got to eat meat to get protein. I got to get my protein. I got to get my protein. And it's like, well, why are you so obsessed with protein? I found out why. It's a whole, I don't remember the dude's name, but it was back in the 30s when he was trying to get people to eat more meat for breakfast and all of that. Yeah. And so that's where the whole start of protein came in, coming from meat. But if you think about it, there is not a source of meat that eats meat.
No,
They all eat
no.
grains and greens.
Right. We are not eating the true carnivores who are out there eating other animals. We are meeting we are
Exactly.
eating the herbivores, the plant eaters.
Exactly. So we're getting that those recycled nutrients. And so it really clicked for me when it was like, why eat a recycled nutrient when you can just go straight to the source? Because the 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 biology behind it is you eat meat, it has protein in it. Your body doesn't need protein. Your body needs
Amino
amino acids.
acids, right?
And so your body has to break the meat down into the amino acids that it needs just so that it can create the protein that it needs, because there's a different protein for muscles. There's a different protein for cells. There's a different protein for skin. So your body has to take and break it down and reuse it how it really needs it. And most people don't realize that out of all the amino acids, we only need to eat 9. Our body creates the rest already. And these are things that I learned after making the transition and learning how to help other people, because it's not something that we're told. We say, eat your protein, get your carbs, get your fats, eat your healthy fats. When they don't designate really what is a healthy fat, what is a healthy carb, and you don't need protein, whatever, because every vegetable has at least some sort of amino acid.
Yes.
And there are vegetables like kale, like spinach, that has more protein in it than a block of beef would.
And also what I learned along my journey, like quinoa is a complete protein, I mean, that was quite eye-opening for me,
Absolutely. And most people think that quinoa is a grain because that's how we eat it.
No,
but
it's a
quinoa is
seed.
actually a seed.
Yeah.
And so pumpkin seeds, quinoa, hemp seed, chia seed, flax seed, that's where you're going to get all of the healthy omegas and the healthy fats that you need, on top of the amino acid spectrum that you're going to need to thrive.
Exactly.
And for me, it was not hard in the beginning, but I was always like, okay, I got to eat this. I got to get my protein, because I've always been on a weight gain journey. I was always trying to bulk up. I was super
A
skinny.
lot of people are like, hey, could that be me? They're like, hey, they want to be where you are, needing to gain weight instead of needing to lose weight.
Yeah, but the joy I got out of making the switch was I got rid of my irritable bowel syndrome. It reduced greatly after I cut out all of the whey protein shakes and the chicken. Like, I was always bloated and always cramping because I was trying to eat so much, and it was so much of stuff that my body didn't really want to have.
Yeah.
And now I eat the same amount, if not more sometimes, and I don't have that. And the biggest thing that helped me get rid of my IBS was when I finally cut out gluten.
Yeah.
So
now that's a big one.
I'll eat it occasionally, but I won't. It won't be day after day after day, meal after meal after meal. I'll pick and choose my battle. So now I make a fried oyster mushroom, and so if I want to make a sandwich out of it, I will get the pretzel bread, which has gluten in it. So, but I'm eating 1 or 2 of those in a couple of days, and so it's not enough to really cause the flare up. And I know that in doing it, I already know that, okay, I'm going to feel a little bit of it.
Gluten is another, ball of wax, totally. We have a comment here, except for salmon. Well, the salmon actually, I guess, So that's a great comment. Let's see. We have lots of highs and hellos. Please put your questions and comments down below for Robert. And he'll
that way we don't lose them. That way we don't lose them in the scroll. So we got also someone that said my acne, depression, high blood pressure, stomach ulcers were gone. That is fantastic. Way to heal yourself, man.
I agree.
And that's the power of food. You can either feed disease or starve it. And that's what most people don't realize, is that the foods that we're eating are creating the environment where disease can grow. So there are studies that have shown that just by switching to a plant-based diet, you can reduce your risk for cancer by up to and over 30%. Because everybody has cancerous cells in their body. A cancerous cell is nothing but a mutated cell. And our bodies will find that and get rid of it. Because it's like, oh, broken cell, let's cut that one out and move on to something else. But if it's in an environment where it's super acidic and it's being fed,
Yeah.
now the cell gets a chance to multiply
Mm-hmm.
and then multiply more. And now you've got a bunch of cells that create a tumor. And that's the lead up to the cancer. And so you can starve it. You starve it and don't give it what it needs to survive, and your body will do its natural healing process and get it on up out of there.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a very good point because, I tell people, when I'm trying to encourage them and coach them, I tell people to trust your body. Your body knows what to do. If you feed your body the high vibration foods that are plant foods, all your colors, all, etc. Your body, you trust your body, lean into the plants, and the plants know, the plants have the information that our bodies need to function optimally, so I want to, thank everyone for their comments. And I want to ask you, Robert, as we progress here along our conversation, why did you become interested in fitness and then becoming a fitness coach? How did that all happen for you?
So I've always been into fitness from high school on up. In high school, I played baseball and I wrestled. After high school, I played softball 5 days a week, basically. So I always stayed fit, and I was always on the journey to put on more weight.
Yeah.
When I graduated high school in 99, I was 119 pounds.
Oh, wow. That's
and so
super
that's super slim. And I'm 5'9".
That's
so
super slim.
And so I was always looking to beef up, bulk up. The heaviest that I ever got was 150. But that was constantly doing the protein shakes and eating a massive amount and going to the gym 5 days a week.
Whoa.
So fitness has always been there. And it's kind of my stress relief at times, especially when I was going to the gym. Yeah. So that was it for me as far as my journey and why I was in fitness. Now, how I got into helping other people, I've always been a helpful person, and I was always looking for better ways to help people. And I found my calling. So my story begins, I was working at one of my sales jobs, and a coworker of mine, 6'3", over 300 pounds, and he had a new baby girl. And he could not get down on the floor to play with his daughter.
Oh my.
He was so immobile that getting down and getting up was a true problem. Yeah. And he had always asked me questions. He sat right next to me, so he was always asking me questions about my lifestyle, my working out. He saw that I was doing things. He was like, "Rob, I need some help. I got this problem, and I know you can help me fix it." So I created a meal plan for him. I created a workout plan for him. And within a couple months, he dropped 20 pounds. He was able to be more mobile. And that was the beginning of it for me. And so that's when it all clicked. This is what I like doing. And I can really help other people live the lifestyle that I live for the same reasons that I do. I went vegan and I stayed healthy for my kids, or for my son at the time. Right. So it's like, now I get to help other people break the generational curse of eating bad and increase their longevity, increase their vitality, so that they can be the best version of themselves for their family.
Yeah.
And so
that's beautiful.
Fast forward 2 years, here I am. I've helped over 100 people on their journeys, and it's been eye-opening just to see how changing how someone eats, helping them change their mindset and give them the belief that they can actually do it. It's so rewarding that I could almost do it for free. But we live in this capitalistic society, so we gotta make our little coins.
Yeah, and you know what I love too is that it's you're not just helping one person; you're helping their whole family, their whole community.
Exactly.
By extension. And so I think that is just what is so beautiful. And I have heard people say that it's because they want to be here for their family, or they want to, like you're saying, run around and play with their children or their grandchildren. So yeah, it's a very powerful motivation, and I just applaud you for, just putting yourself out there and helping this person. And then of course, by extension, the snowball keeps going, and then you help more people, so that is beautiful. So tell us please about your coaching offerings, your coaching program. What do people need to know about that?
So perfect. So I have a main flagship program. It's called my 90-day lean vegan formula. And so it's a 90-day program where you get a done for you meal plan that it tells you exactly what to eat so that there is no guesswork. It's all whole food, plant-based, and it's designed to teach you how to prepare healthy meals. What should go in a healthy salad? What should go in a healthy smoothie? What should your portion sizes look like? Food pairings that you can put together, because that's where a lot of people miss it in the beginning. It's like, I don't know what to do. I love to do it, but I don't know what to do.
It's true.
So the program takes all of the guesswork out of it for you. All you have to do, I like to call it plug and play.
Yeah.
You look at it, you say, do this. And then it teaches you how to actually create a grocery list, because you have the meal plan to follow. So now you got to figure out what you need for the week. Yeah. And it teaches you how to batch cook so that you're not in the kitchen every single day cooking, because most of that today we're short on time.
Yeah.
And so having something that can teach you, all right, cool, I can cook 2 grains for this week. I can cook 2 or 3 different beans, 4 or 5 different vegetables. And now you got a mixture of meals throughout the week. Cook a big pot of soup, and now you can mix that in.
Totally.
So that's the meal plan portion of the 90-day program. Along with that, you also get a progressive workout plan that takes you from a beginner level of being able to work out to more advanced, because most people, when they hire a trainer, they bring them in and they have them doing all these crazy plyometrics, this and all of this and that, and it's too much too quick, and it can become very overwhelming. You can overstress the muscles, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore because it's too hard.
Yeah.
So by starting people off through progressions, it gives them the confidence and the strength to do more advanced movements. And my program is all body weight with some resistance bands included, so that you don't need a gym. You don't need to spend hours going back and forth or in the gym fighting for machines. All you need is your own body weight, a little bit of space at home. And so now you can get your workout, warm up, workout, and cool down done in 45 minutes. Awesome. So now you can get it in before work, after work. So it's, again, makes it convenient for you.
Yeah.
And then the third part of the program includes what I call my 4 A's coaching. So I pay attention to your goals so that we can make adjustments to the meal plan or the workout suited for you. I'm going to hold you accountable what you said you're going to do, because that is the hardest part sometimes when we started. But we're motivated up front, but motivation leaves out the door as soon as life pops up. After that, you're going to get, I'm going to acknowledge your wins. As adults, we tend to write off the small things we do and just say, that's what I was supposed to do. Or it's just this, it's just that. When if you ignore and don't celebrate those wins, you don't have you're not able to sustain the motivation to keep doing it. So I'm there to be a cheerleader. And then lastly, they have access to me. My program is delivered through an app, so we can communicate through the app, and they get a weekly coaching call and group coaching calls as well. So that's my flagship program. To complement that, I did create a 14-day herbal cleanse package where people with 7 different herbal blends, I'll say, that help you to detox your liver, your kidneys, your large intestines, your lungs, your lymphatic system, and then 2 tea blends to help cleanse the entire body. That comes along with a meal plan to help you eat in accordance, because I don't believe in, let me not say I don't believe in. Fasting is good. But fasting without eating certain things, or I should say detoxing without eating certain foods, it doesn't give any fiber, doesn't give anything in your body for those toxins to attach to so that it can actually be eliminated. You break them up and then they're just circling around your body. So the detox program comes with a meal plan that's going to complement it so that you can actually expel those toxins and just loosen them up and have them running as free radicals in your body. I have just started to do in-person training with people here in South Florida. So if you're looking for a personal trainer that'll come to you, bring the equipment that you need, and as well as show you how to do the movements and motivate you throughout the entire workout, I'm taking those clients on now as well. For those who are still looking for the free 99, I got some free recipes for you. I have a cookbook, a Southern holiday cookbook. I took all of my favorite vegan meals and I made them into this nice. So for Thanksgiving last year was one of my first times having to cook my own Thanksgiving. Right. So there's a baked mac and cheese with all mac and cheese. There's oyster fried chicken or oyster fried mushrooms to replace the chicken.
Right.
There's a lentil loaf,
Mm-hmm.
southern greens, cornbread. So just everything to get that traditional southern meal is there as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that's a mouthful. I really love it. I mean, I love, and what I love too is like you really pivoted in the last couple of years when the world was, upside down, and so you were offering online, and now that the world's opening up a little bit more, you're available, in person. So that's super awesome. And, the veganizing our favorite dishes, that's a very big one. I hear that a lot. Oh, like you're saying, I like mac and cheese. Well, I like fried chicken. Well, I like pizza. I like burgers, etc. So it's great that, we can, find the plant-based version for it.
Absolutely. And that's important to make sure that you're able to sustain it, because you want to eat the foods that you enjoy. And so by veganizing them, you're able to keep the tradition, because especially here in America, we're traditional people. You know what I'm saying? I cook greens the same way my grandma did, except for there's no fat back in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
exactly, yeah.
In keeping that tradition and keeping those memories there, you're able to continue that line while making healthier options of it. And so that is what makes it sustainable. Everything I want people to do, I want it to be sustainable for you, because it does you no good. It does you good if you do it for a couple months, but it does you better if you can stick with it for years and years and years.
It's a lifestyle, not a diet.
And not want to falter back. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and what is really good about that too is like if you go to a gathering, I've heard people say this over and over again, when they take their vegan version of dishes, like people just gobble it up, and some people don't even know that it's vegan, but they're just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And when they find out, they're like, what do you mean that's vegan? No. So it's good that we can, veganize our favorite traditional dishes and all of that, because the social pressure is so strong sometimes, but if we can just make it look and taste like the standard diet version, then nobody's gonna worry. I mean, like, you use a lot of mushrooms. Like I've had vegan tacos made of mushrooms, and honestly, I mean, someone just like walking by couldn't even tell if that wasn't like, a beef from a cow versus a mushroom, or like scallops that are made from oyster mushrooms. I mean, you can't even tell that they're not from the ocean. So it's just so important for those of us who are still a little bit in that mindset to be able to replicate.
Absolutely. And when you brought up tacos, that brought me. I have a taco in my meal plan. Well, those were fajitas that I made the other day.
Oh, yeah.
But in my meal plan, there is a recipe for raw vegan tacos where you're taking walnut meat, and it actually looks like ground beef when you're done.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say it. It has the flavor of ground beef, but not the texture, not the taste. So there's the flavor, but not the taste, because meat has that certain taste to it. But as far as the texture, the grittiness, I fed it to one of my carnivore friends, and he ate them and kept eating them.
Of course,
and the very first time I was doing them, when I do them raw, I do them inside of collard greens.
Yeah.
As the wrap.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, what am I going to do with just these two? I need some more. After those two, he was like, man, all right, I think I can try one more, but
he really meant he wanted like a whole bunch more.
But no, he thought because it was more filling than he expected.
Well, the nuts,
he loves to call me the rabbit food. He's the rabbit food.
They
do.
You
trying to feed me all this rabbit food.
They do. They like to tease us.
Well, it ain't quite rabbit food, but watch how full you get. Because a lot of people think that as vegans, we eat this bland food that it is, and we're always hungry.
Yeah, no.
We're constantly eating. We're not. Like when I'm done eating, I have to sit back and let that thing breathe sometimes. But with that fullness doesn't come the what is the word? It's fleeting.
All that like
When
bloating and
the
indigestion
bloated,
and
the heaviness. That's the word.
yeah.
Even
Oh,
though
that's
I'm full,
true.
you don't get the heaviness.
That is true. I noticed that even when I first went plant-based vegan, I was like, oh my gosh, like you're saying, I just felt lighter. I had more energy. You know, I didn't need to like take a nap. You know.
Yeah, you don't need a nap. You don't need 2 to 3 hours to let it digest before you can get up and get active again.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. So I want to thank everybody who's joining. Please put your questions and comments down below for Robert. We have, you know, I love this. King, what's good? Good combo. Their circadian rhythm is great. Yes, I agree
Yeah.
with that too. Let's see. Too
And
rewarding.
so with that, so eating with the circadian rhythm, since he brought that up, that is huge. I typically don't eat cooked food before noon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am probably 60% raw
Yeah.
because in the mornings I'm eating smoothies,
Yeah.
fruits,
Yeah.
and then I won't eat my oatmeal until noon, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then that's when I start to intake more of the cooked foods.
Yeah.
So that's really huge because early in the morning you want that energy. You don't want to be so heavy and digested, especially if you got to go to work.
Yeah.
Most people are like this by noontime, by lunchtime, they're
I
ready to take a nap.
know. Yeah. And
Whereas
then you get
now,
the 3 o'clock munchies. It's like, oh my gosh, I need a pick me upper. You know, when I worked in an office years ago, I used to go to the vending machine. Like, imagine
yeah,
this around 3. And then I learned that this was a thing. Like, this was actually a thing that supposedly, you know, when we're on the standard diet, which I didn't understand back then, but, you know, it's normal to kind of have that dip around 3 p.m. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't even realize it.
yep, absolutely. So what questions do you all have? I drink peas and waters until 12. That's beautiful, man. That is great. I am a high energy person. If I didn't do that by noon, I'd be starving.
You know, but see,
I'd be
you're
grabbing.
getting the wonderful hydration and all the nutrition in those fruits. You know, I mean
Exactly.
that's just and the smoothies and all that. That's just super awesome because you're easing into it. You're not like hitting your body with all of this, you know, heavy workload at
Yeah,
8
because
a.m. and 7 a.m.
exactly because in the morning your body's coming out of its sense of repairing the body, so you got to ease it back in, and
I
you don't want to
agree.
give it all of this extra work to have to digest the food
Yeah.
because that's why you end up tired. Is because your
Mhm.
body just spending so much energy digesting your breakfast.
And the digestive process is super labor intensive, super labor intensive. Yeah. So yeah, that's a whole other conversation. So tell us, please, Robert, about your kitchen consultations. What's going on with that?
So yeah, so that is another service that I offer to people who want to veganize their kitchen, or not just veganize, but make their kitchen healthy. So the healthy kitchen consultation is a Zoom call with me and the individual. You get on, I want you on a device where you can move around your kitchen. So we're going to actually do a walkthrough of your kitchen, and I'm going to point out the foods that you need to absolutely get rid of, the foods that you absolutely love. I'm going to tell you healthier options
Right.
that you can swap them out for.
Right.
And then you get a chance to ask me any questions that you have about the lifestyle, so that I can really coach you through how to get started. I'm going to give you tips on grocery shopping to save money, tips on which foods that you should batch cook so that you have food prepared, the tips on just how to make the transition easier and smoother for you. And so that is one that I really like for people to do because it's that jump start in the beginning. If you're not really committed to a full workout plan, or if you got the workout plan, but you know what, I need to be healthier.
Yeah, I agree.
And I need my kitchen, because it all starts with the options that you have available to you. If it's there, you're going to eat it.
Oh my
Period.
gosh.
Period. Point blank.
Oh
If
my
it's in the
gosh.
house, you're going to eat it.
That's
And
true.
so the kitchen consultation, it gives you the choice, the chance to eliminate those things, give them to the food pantry, give them to
I
neighbors, give them
agree.
to somebody else. So I don't want you to throw out food,
No, I
but
agree. I agree with you.
it's the choice to get it out of the house and not just say, all right, you got to cut that out, but give you an option of what to replace it with, because nature abhors a vacuum. And so if I don't give you an option to replace it with, your go-to mechanism is to go right back to what you were doing before. And so there's a couple brands that I've come to love, and I appreciate it so much, like Siete. Their brand is fantastic. I started off buying their taco shells, burrito shells, and things like that because they're made out of almond flour or cassava.
Ooh, nice.
So they're gluten free.
Nice.
But as I've been going through Whole Foods, I've been finding more. They have kettle cooked chips now.
Yes. So you don't get that
And
like deep oil.
forget the deep oil. It's the fact that they're not potato powder grounded up and then made into the shape of a chip. They're whole potatoes that they sliced up, put some avocado oil, bake them, and then put their seasonings on it to flavor it however you want it. So you still get that's close to whole food.
And I'm glad you brought
Versus
up the seasonings and the spices. I just like bunch them into like herbs and spices because a lot of times, even when we're on the standard diet, it's really not like the animal base that we're interested in. We're interested in the seasoning, and we just, just pile on the herbs and spices, and that's what gives it the flavor. And it's not really, the taste of the animal base that we're
not at
interested
all.
in.
Not at all, because who's going to eat just a raw chicken leg, not a raw, but just a cooked chicken leg with no seasoning? Who's going to eat a steak with no seasoning? The only reason that your meat tastes good is because of the plants you put on top of it. All right, let me get down off my horse. We got Shirley Demenis. Yes, I work with people from other countries. That is the benefit of my 90-day program. It can be done virtually. As long as we can coordinate a time to do your weekly check-ins, I'm with that. And since I am an entrepreneur, I can pretty much work around the clock. I just need to be in bed by 10 o'clock, 11, because I need my sleep. And that's the key thing that a lot of us overlook, especially when we're trying to either gain weight or lose weight, is you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Otherwise, all the work that you put in was for naught. Because muscle grows when you're sleeping. Not your muscles don't grow when you're in the gym. You tear it up in the gym, but your muscle grows when you're sleeping.
Rest. Restoration.
Exactly. And that's why it's called rest. Like you said, it's a short for restoration. And your body already knows what it needs to. It just needs the time and the nutrients to do it.
Yeah. So I want to repeat that question because just so people understand that you do offer global coaching online. So someone asked Robert, can you work with people from another country? So Robert is saying yes, he's online, he's global. So, virtual, the world has gone virtual more and more in the last couple of years. And I think a lot of people are going to stick with that. And you mentioned earlier about, how your workouts are customized to working at home. A lot of people stopped going to the gym either because they had no choice. They had to, stay out of the gyms, or because they were social distancing or whatever other reason. So a lot of people got used to even creating their own home gyms. I've heard so many people say that.
Absolutely. It's become a trend. Yeah. And I like it the most because now that is an hour that you get back, because you know what I'm saying? For
the commute, all the driving.
You got to drive to there. You got to drive home. You got to change when you get there. You got to change before you leave. So you get that time back. So now you wake up, you sit your clothes out the night before, you put them on, you get to work.
I agree.
To it.
So we
told my dad we was trying to argue. I said, man, can you eat plant meat? We'll see. And that's the thing. So I am not against, just to talk about that, I am not against plant-based faux meats.
I agree.
I am against over-reliance on them.
I agree. They're like a good transition, or for convenience, or you're curious
not
about
too much.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword because they are highly processed. Yeah. So it is a healthier option than regular meat.
Yes, and there is a study on that too.
And at the same time, they are still highly processed. And there are some that I would never touch.
Yeah, like the fibers and the nutrients are being stripped out to some extent.
It's the Impossible Burger. You cannot get me to eat an Impossible Burger. When a friend of mine when I was at work, he was like, "Oh, you got to look at this new thing that they're coming out with from California. It's this fake meat." And so I was doing the research, and what they did is they found a protein in plants that make meat taste like meat. Gotcha. They found out what protein in meat made it taste like meat.
Gotcha.
And they found that protein in the plant. And
Gotcha.
then they genetically modified the plant to be able to produce more of it so that they could mass produce the Impossible Burger. So when
Oh,
you're eating the Impossible Burger, you're eating something that was GMO. I
yeah.
don't think everything needs to be organic, but let's stay
As
away from
much
the
as you
GMOs.
can, totally, as much as you
Exactly.
can. I agree.
And so, for me, when I do eat the fake meats, I will go with the Beyond Meat.
Yeah, that's a good
And I
one. It's
really,
popular, very popular.
I really only do their breakfast sausage. That's the
Right.
only faux meat that I at home will cook and prepare. And that's because one day I was yearning for a breakfast sandwich,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
I used to eat those all the time
I used to
too.
love to eat them with regular bread, some eggs, and sausage. Like that was, if I am a creature of habit, so I would either eat eggs and waffles for breakfast, or I would make me two breakfast sandwiches because I could take them on the road with me or eat them
Yeah,
on my way to work in the car.
good
And
point.
so I have been yearning for them. I found a vegan croissant at Whole Foods.
Nice,
Like, all right, now let me find the rest of the ingredients. And
nice.
then eggs came out. It's like, boom,
Yeah.
I'm an egg replacement. So, oh, all right, something's missing the sausage. I found their sausage, and their spicy sausage is
Mhm.
impeccable.
And see,
So,
again, it's the spices.
because their regular sausage is but the spicy sausage, yeah, it's the real deal. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what led me into the faux meats because I had avoided them up until that point, really.
No, but
Just
some
because
of them still, sorry, but some of them still have, some of them are still whole food plant based, if you will. In other words, and there's so many beautifully yummy recipes out there where you can make your own out of
yeah,
beans, and you can put
absolutely,
beets and brown rice or wild rice or quinoa and make your own as well. You
absolutely,
mentioned the walnut meat earlier. Like put your nuts and seeds, your herbs and spices, your beans, your lentils, and you can make an amazing homemade burger recipes, or
absolutely.
meatball recipes or whatever, and you mentioned the lentil
Lentils
loaf. It's
and,
yeah,
and, and lentils are one of the best replacements to make a burger out of. So in the meal plan, there's a lentil burger recipe
yeah, those are
in the
awesome.
meal plan because I want people to enjoy the food. I don't want them to feel like,
Totally.
oh, I'm on a diet because
No,
you're not on a
and
diet.
they're
What you're
gonna
doing is
feel
you're
full because beans and lentils are very filling. But they're
absolutely.
clean. They're clean proteins.
Exactly, and exactly. So you get all of the benefit without the negative sides of it, and you can season it however you want to. And I like the lentils because they form really well.
Mhm,
So I've tried black beans; they're cool, but
mhm.
you're mostly eating the whole black beans, and everything else is your binder. But with the
Okay.
lentils, you don't really need a whole lot of extra stuff to bind it together because they hold so well together.
Yeah, yeah, and they are popular in loaves as well. They're so delicious.
And I like lentils because no matter where you are in the world, you can find lentils.
Lentil
Just,
soup is super amazing. You put like
just
your
for those people
carrots
who
and
are
so forth in there. I mean, you're golden.
absolutely, and so that's for those people who may not be here in the States and don't have access to all the foods that we do.
Totally.
I will help you customize the meal plan to the foods that are in your area. So that's the benefit of being able to work with me is you tell me, all right, I don't have this, and we'll come up with some options to help you swap it out and make those replacements.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. So, Robert, tell us about your ebook. You may have mentioned it earlier, but tell us a little bit more about your ebook, please.
All right, so I don't have a full ebook. There is a download
Yeah.
that is I call it what I forgot the name of it already. It's basically the blueprint to going vegan. So
Yeah.
it's basically a compilation of a bunch of documents that I had
Yeah.
as freebies before, so I just put them all in one.
Yeah.
So it's telling you the 10 tips to how to save money when you're going to the grocery store. The 10 tips to making the transition and making it stick.
Yeah.
And then I have some meal templates in there.
Nice.
So how to make a quick meal. The burger recipe is in there. How to make a bean burger. So it's giving you templates on how you can create meals so that you don't have to rely on having to go and find recipes. And that's one thing that I'll say. There are tons of
Oh
sites out
yeah.
there with
Oh
recipes.
yeah.
So there is no reason not to eat the food you want.
I agree.
Just search the food you want
Put
and
the
there's
word vegan. Just
somebody
put
has
the word
veganized.
vegan in front of it or
Somebody
after it.
somebody has already veganized it for you.
I agree.
And
We
so
have I love
that's really
chickpeas here. I love chickpeas
That's what it's
too.
called. How to go plant based made simple. That's the name of it. I remember it now. So it's called How
Awesome.
to Go Plant Based Made Simple. And so it's a compilation of different tips and tools that you can use to make this life simple. Because if it's hard, you're not going to do it.
I agree. And where do people find this book?
Everything that I have discussed with you, you can click the link in my bio and you can get access to. If you're looking for individual coaching or you want to learn more about the 90-day program, you can send me a DM or you can click the link in my bio and schedule a free discovery call. If you'd like to do the Healthy Kitchen consultation, that's a link in the bio as well. And you schedule it at your convenience. I am on the Eastern time zone, so just know that when you look at it, it's going to show you your time, but it's going to pop up in mine. So I'm definitely available and willing to help those who are looking for help and ready to make the transition and live healthier.
Awesome. Now, do you have any future projects or services or products that you want to mention at this time?
I am working very slowly on a cookbook. I talked about it at the beginning of 2022 that I wanted to have it done by second quarter of this year. So it'll probably be done by mid to late summer, where I'm going to take a lot of the recipes that are in my meal plan and some of the things that I cook on a regular basis and put it in a cookbook for people, because that's one of the things that people are constantly looking for. There are a bunch out there now, but of course I want to add my little spin in there as well, just so that people have that St. Louis, that Midwest Southern style of things done, because that's what I love. I mean, I still eat like I do, like almost as much as when I was in St. Louis. So I'm still bringing that culture to it, and so it'll have that Southern Midwestern spin on it, and you can really enjoy it. And so it's going to be an entry-level product, so that it's not something you got to break the bank to go out and get, and it's digital, so you can have it wherever you are, wherever you want to be. So
and it's global.
That's what making things portable and accessible for people. That's what it's really all about. And that's one of the reasons I made my 90-day program my flagship program, because you can do it no matter where you are. I have clients in California, Midwest, up in Jersey. I had a client that was in Ghana for a minute. I just spoke with somebody who's considering the program, who's in South Africa. So as long as you are willing to make the change for yourself, I am willing to help you.
Yeah, and I love what you were saying earlier, that you celebrate people's wins along the way. You have an accountability element built in there. So it's not like they're gonna just be blowing in the wind. It's not like you're saying, hey, you need to like make up your mind and do it yourself. I mean, you do have a structure to it, but it's great that you do have, like, you're talking about your 4 A's. Like, it's really great that you basically like I like to say, or I've heard this before too, like, we're all walking each other home. So you're like walking them home too,
Exactly. And that's it. I understand where you are because I've been there.
Exactly.
I was at that point. I may not have had to lose the weight.
Right. Yours is the reverse. Yeah.
that you have, but I understand not knowing what to eat. I understand the stress of doing something new. I understand the stress of living a hectic life and trying to figure out how the heck to get things done. I've battled with depression for a long time, and so I know what it feels like to be down. So I can teach from my experience. And I'm not the hero here. That I'll always tell people, I'm not the hero. You're the hero. I'm the guide. You're Luke Skywalker. I'm Yoda.
We're all the hero of our own story.
That's it. I'm just here to guide you so that you can become the superhero of your story.
I agree.
I'm the guy that you can say, yeah, that was the one who taught me.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree. Oh my gosh, that's very beautiful. Before we wrap this up and put a bow on it, please tell everybody where is or are the best places for people to contact you for information, collaboration, questions, comments, etc.
This platform right here is the best place to contact me. Coach Robert Moore. Shoot me a DM. My phone is almost always in my hands. I respond as quickly as I can, except for when I'm dealing with clients or I co-parent my 2 sons, so I give them their designated time. But hit me in the DM. You can also find me on TikTok at Coach Robert Moore, but it's a lot of the same content that is here. So if you're here, let's just stay here and build from here. mean, that's pretty much it. The DM is the best way to reach out to me. Click the link in the bio, schedule a consultation. All of my consultations are free except for the Healthy Kitchen consultation
Right.
because it's so in-depth. But the
Yeah.
discovery call is a chance to really find out me more about you, to help your situation and see if the products that or the services that I have are in line with you. And if you are here in sunny South Florida, send me that DM. Let's have a conversation about what your goals are, and you can get somebody to show up to your house, your favorite park, and we're there to get it going.
Yeah.
People can feel what you have to do to save yourself. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I want to say too, like the other day, I was, you know, holding like a group coaching session, and someone showed up and said, you know, they get very distracted, you know, in the supermarket. They don't really know what to buy and what to do, and they really want to get healthy. And so they're interested in the plant-based vegan journey. And so, you know, your kitchen consultation, I applaud you for that. And then you provide like a shopping list, etc., as a part of, you know, your offering. So, you know, this is something that a lot of people really struggle with. And so, you know, I just want to give you that example because he was like, you know, I think, you know, he was saying he kind of has like a short attention span sometimes. And so it's very overwhelming. For him to like, you know, go in the supermarket. And I told him, I said, I'm constantly distracted in the supermarket. You know, there's only some shiny object to look at, you know? And so it is great that you offer that more of a, you know, structure, you know, you know, assistance, you know, like a little toolkit. Not to say that someone has to like, of course, you know, adhere to it 100%, but it's just great to have that guidance because some people have expressed that they need it.
Yeah, and it helps, especially in the beginning, to have structure. That way you follow. It's always follow, then adapt. So follow the plan and then adapt it as you get the hints and the tips of what you need to do. And for those who don't know what to do in the grocery store, stay to the outer parts of the grocery store. That's the biggest thing. Don't go in the middle aisles. There's nothing for you in the middle aisles that you need.
All the shiny objects are in the middle. Yeah, all the shiny, you know, new stuff is there. Yeah, to, you know, distract us.
You don't need nothing out of the middle aisles. Once you get more knowledge under your belt, that's when you start going into the middle aisles because you start to read, you flip everything over. I don't eat anything without flipping it over.
I agree.
First, because there are some things that look like it shouldn't have any kind of animal product in it, and they snuck milk in there for whatever reason.
Thank you for bringing that up, Robert, because, you know, and I know people make videos on this, and I applaud them for making videos. I think we just need to keep making videos on this topic. You know, I've had several people say they bought a cheese that was labeled plant-based. They got the cheese home, and there was some, like, whey or something in there. And it's like, no! And, yeah, and then, you know.
The biggest thing that I saw were like the nutrition bars. There's like, you think that, okay, this is a nutrition bar, and it looks all plant-based. And then they have whey in it. Why? Why? You just messed up this whole product. I was about to eat this.
I agree.
I digress.
No. But the other thing too,
it's very frustrating at times.
It is, and it, you know, obviously it creates more work for us. But you know, I like to say the front is for entertainment and the back is for education. So flip that package over and have a read. You know, see what on earth, like, you know, what is hiding and lurking in there. You know, like there could be like egg, like some trace of eggs or some trace of milk or some trace of cheese, and I'm like, what is that doing in there? It's labeled plant-based. Like, I don't understand this.
Yeah, and so don't trust the front labels because those are to catch your eye, and you really have to flip it over. And the biggest thing that you can understand when reading labels, excuse me, especially here in the States, is the first ingredient in the list is what compromises the most of that package. So that's why I love the Siete chips, because you flip it over, the first thing on there is potatoes. So I know I'm getting potato chips for real. And they make some that are the traditional Dorito style, but
I used to eat those a lot.
I avoided those. I'm like, all right, cool. That's super processed, but potatoes, kettle cooked, I'm on it. Run those.
Yeah. Well, Robert, I want to thank you so very much for coming on and chatting with us. I want to thank all of our guests for all of your good energy here, all of your questions and comments from all over. And Robert, I want to ask you if you have any final thoughts to kind of wrap this all up and put a bow on it for us, please.
The final thought is, again, thank everybody for the comments there and just joining and being a part of this journey. My shirt says it best. I am worthy of good health.
Ooh, I love
Just go,
that.
just go out there and live healthy. And yes, this is available in my store. So if you click the link, if you click my store, you can get this shirt, or you can get my Live Healthy shirt. I wasn't trying to shamelessly plug, but
Well, you need
that's my
to. You need to.
that's my ending message. Is live healthy. That's why I created that shirt, so that it is a daily affirmation. Every time somebody looks at my chest, they have to think live healthy. So that's it.
Beautiful.
Go live healthy. Do what you need to do. Take the baby steps. Take the steps where you can get your life together. There is no reason for us to be on medications, for not to have quality of life as we age, because it can all be reversed. It can all be changed around in a couple months to a year's time by making the right food choices. So go live healthy.
That's beautiful. And you know, I'm going to add to that, there's no shame in asking for help. So if you need help along your journey, then, you know, hire a coach. I mean, hire somebody to help you, you know, so there's just no shame in that. You know, when we're starting out on whatever journey it is, it's sometimes we need someone to hold our hands virtually or in person, you know, to help us along.
And not even just there to hold our hands. They always say you can go far by yourself, but you can go faster with other people. And so a coach takes away the learning curve.
Yeah.
Because all the information I know, I did research. So you can go do the research and find it out all yourself.
It'll take you much longer.
Or you can cut that time down and use me as a springboard. Leverage my knowledge to get you somewhere faster.
I agree. Yeah. Well, Robert, again, thank you so very much for coming on to chat. I'm going to save the live to IGTV, my stories and my feed, and then I'll message you after.
All right, perfect. Well, I thank you for having me and allowing me to share my story and my services to you all. Everybody, go live healthy. Peace.
Thank you. You too. Take good care, Robert. Take good care, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.